Have you ever experienced that crushing moment when it feels like the world just slammed a door right in your face? You give everything you've got, only to be met with a resounding no. It's like standing on the edge of a cliff, staring into the unknown, wondering if you'll ever reach the other side. But what if I told you that rejection, this no, isn't the end? In fact, it could be the secret key to unlocking a future that you never even dared to dream of. What if every rejection, every door slammed in your face, was not a setback but a redirection? Today, we're not just talking about how to deal with rejection. We're discussing how to transform it into one of your greatest assets. Stick around, because I'm about to show you how these so-called failures can open the door to something extraordinary. Rejection is tough, I get it. But here's the thing, you're not alone in this journey. By the end of this, you'll see rejection in an entirely new light. It won't just be a barrier, but the spark for your greatest comebacks. Let's dive in, turn these challenges into triumphs, and show you how to. Use every no to build a stronger, more resilient version of yourself. There are moments when it feels like you're being ignored or overlooked. It's easy to let these moments define you, make you feel small or insignificant. But here's the truth. These moments are golden opportunities for growth. How you react to being ignored says more about you than about anyone else. By choosing not to let it bother you, you're proving just how much you respect and value yourself. Think of it this way. When someone doesn't see your worth, it's not your loss, it's theirs. You know your value. You don't need someone else's approval to confirm it. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, taught us to focus on our actions and reactions instead of getting bogged down by external events. When faced with negativity or rejection, redirect your energy toward things that truly bring you joy, whether it's a hobby, a sport, or a good book. This not only shields you from the negativity, but reaffirms your own sense of worth. It's natural to feel hurt when you face rejection. Your first instinct might be to react impulsively, letting your emotions take over. But one of the most empowering things you can do in that moment is stay calm. It's not about suppressing your emotions, it's about understanding them. Ask yourself, why does this rejection hurt so much? Often, it's not the rejection itself, but the insecurities or doubts it stirs within you. The Stoics remind us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. When rejection comes, remember that your reaction is within your control. By staying composed, you show your strength of character, demonstrating that your happiness and self-worth aren't tied to other people's opinions. Socrates once said, "Strong minds discuss ideas, average minds discuss events, weak minds discuss people." Instead of dwelling on the rejection or the people involved, focus on what you can control, your actions, your thoughts, and your responses. Rejection can feel like a heavy weight on your heart. If you let it, it can consume your thoughts. But here's a powerful reminder. Rejection does not define your worth. Instead of letting the hurt take over, see it as a chance for personal growth. Channel the energy from that rejection into something positive. Perhaps start a new hobby you've always been curious about, or dive into a book that offers new perspectives. Get involved in a community project or volunteer your time. Helping others shifts the focus from your own struggles to something greater, reminding you that you're valuable and appreciated. Surround yourself with people who lift you up, who value and respect you, reminding you of your worth. As Aristotle once said, the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. Your life is far more than one instance of rejection. It's a collection of experiences, relationships, and moments that shape who you are. Use rejection as a stepping stone for growth and self-improvement. Let go of the hurt, and remember, your value isn't diminished by someone's inability to see it. Being overlooked or undervalued can sting. But this moment is actually your opportunity to show what you're truly made of. When you face rejection, remember, it's not a stop sign, it's a detour, guiding you to a place where your talents will shine brighter than ever. Now is the time to focus on your strengths. Work on a project that highlights what you're great at, something that fills you with passion. Whether it's a personal project, something that benefits your community, or an initiative at work, put your skills into action. Every rejection is just a redirection to somewhere better, a place where your abilities will be appreciated. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." So when you're faced with rejection, don't see it as a roadblock, but as an invitation to find new ways to showcase your abilities. Rejection isn't a reflection of your worth. It's a test of how you handle adversity. Use every rejection as a stepping stone, as an opportunity to grow stronger, to prove to yourself and to the world that you are unstoppable. Remember, rejection isn't the end. It's the beginning of something greater. So let's turn every setback into a comeback. Keep pushing forward and watch how the world begins to open up to you in ways you never imagined. The greatest battle you will ever fight is the one within yourself. As Plato wisely said, true victory comes not from defeating others, but from conquering your own limitations, doubts, and fears. Every time you push through rejection, every moment you choose resilience over surrender, you are winning a personal triumph that no one can take away from you. When you're ignored, the instinct may be to raise your voice, demand attention, or prove your worth. But sometimes, the most profound response is silence. Choosing not to react isn't weakness, it's strength. Silence is a tool of self-mastery, allowing you to reclaim your power instead of wasting energy on seeking validation from those who fail to recognize your value. As Marcus Aurelius wisely noted, the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injustice. By not engaging in petty struggles for acknowledgement, you rise above them. Instead of fixating on being noticed, invest that energy into your own growth. Hone a skill, build something meaningful, or work toward your goals. Let your silence be a statement of self-assurance, proving that your worth is not defined by the opinions of others. Rejection stings, but it can also be the greatest source of fuel for transformation. Instead of seeing it as a setback, view it as a challenge, an invitation to prove, not to others, but to yourself, that you are capable of more. Actions always speak louder than words. Show your resilience not by arguing your worth, but by living it. This is the time to sharpen your skills, master your craft, or explore new opportunities. Growth isn't about proving others wrong, it's about proving yourself right. Excellence, as Aristotle reminds us, is not a single act but a habit. With every step forward, you move closer to becoming the best version of yourself. The best way to counteract rejection isn't bitterness, it's joy. When life tries to pull you down, rise by embracing experiences that bring happiness. Engage in activities that make you feel alive. Whether it's picking up a new sport, joining a club, or simply surrounding yourself with people who uplift you, joy is a powerful antidote to negativity. Laughter, adventure, and creativity shift your focus from what you lack to what you have. As Aristotle said, happiness depends upon ourselves. By choosing to find joy, you take control of your own narrative, reminding yourself that your worth isn't determined by external approval. Rejection is not an end, it's a beginning. Use this moment to invest in yourself. Strengthen your body, expand your mind, and deepen your passions. Whether it's hitting the gym, mastering a new hobby, or advancing in your career, self-improvement turns adversity into advantage. The strongest foundation you can build is the one within yourself. Your growth will speak for itself. Others may ignore you today, but they will eventually take notice, not because you sought their approval, but because your success made it undeniable. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The best way to avenge yourself is to not be like that." Rise above rejection by becoming the person you were meant to be. When someone disregards you, don't chase after their attention. Act as if their opinion is irrelevant. Not in an arrogant way, but in a way that prioritizes your peace and self-respect. Their recognition does not define you, your actions do. In professional settings, remain composed and focused on your goals. Handle situations with grace, proving your value through discipline, not desperation. Remember, the most powerful response to being overlooked is to thrive regardless. Final thought: every challenge, every rejection, and every ignored effort is an opportunity in disguise. The path to greatness isn't paved with validation, but with perseverance. Stay silent when necessary, take action when needed, and above all, never stop building yourself into the person you were destined to become. The world may not always acknowledge your worth at first, but when you embody excellence, they won't be able to ignore you forever. True fulfillment comes from engaging in activities that bring you joy, whether it's dedicating time to a personal project, enjoying the company of loved ones, or pursuing a hobby. By doing so, you reaffirm that your happiness and sense of worth are not dependent on external approval. The crucial insight here is that how you react when ignored says more about your character than it does about the actions of others. As Plato wisely stated, "Wise men speak because they have something to say, fools because they have to say something." This applies to how we respond to being overlooked. The key is to act according to your values and integrity, not to seek validation or attention from anyone else. Sometimes, the most powerful response to being ignored is simply choosing silence over drama. It's tempting to react, to make a scene or stir up conflict, but in these moments, silence is often a more dignified and impactful response. Silence is not weakness, it's a sign of strength and self-mastery. It shows that you are unaffected by the petty actions of others, demonstrating emotional resilience and control. When you choose silence, you give yourself the space to reflect, to understand why you feel disturbed by the situation, and what it reveals about your values, expectations, and how you handle conflict or rejection. This practice is in line with Stoic philosophy, where Marcus Aurelius teaches that how we respond to external events is more important than the events themselves. By choosing silence, you take control of your emotions and show that you are governed by reason, not by impulse. This quiet time also serves as an opportunity for self-improvement. Use it to focus on what you can control, your communication skills, your emotional resilience, or your personal growth. This focused energy doesn't just help you deal with the present situation, but it prepares you for future challenges. Aristotle once said, "Knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom." By choosing silence and reflecting in these moments, you allow yourself to gain that wisdom and grow, far more than if you were to react in drama or frustration. Additionally, one of the most empowering realizations you can have is that your worth is not dependent on others' recognition or attention. In a world that often links validation to self-worth, it's crucial to remember that true value comes from within. Stop chasing attention. Chasing validation can be an exhausting, never-ending cycle. Instead, focus on what genuinely brings you joy and fulfillment. Pursuing your own passions, setting your own goals, and doing what makes you feel good about yourself can create a lasting sense of self-worth that is independent of others' opinions. Marcus Aurelius also emphasized that peace comes not from external circumstances, but from our internal responses. When you focus on your internal satisfaction, you are no longer at the mercy of others' approval. This inward focus also allows you to live authentically. You no longer perform for the validation of others. Instead, you align your life with your own values and interests. This authenticity brings deep satisfaction, as Socrates said. To find yourself, think for yourself. By defining your own happiness and confidence, you step into your true self. When dealing with people who ignore or overlook you, it's essential to balance kindness with emotional boundaries. Treat others with respect, regardless of how they treat you, but ensure that your kindness is not a bid for their approval. This kind of kindness reflects your integrity and character. Marcus Aurelius pointed out that the best revenge is not to mirror the injustice you've received. By choosing kindness, you separate yourself from the pettiness of others and show that you are guided by principles of decency. At the same time, maintaining emotional distance is crucial. It's important not to allow the actions or inactions of others to affect your emotional well-being. You cannot control how others treat you, but you can control how deeply you allow it to impact you. As Aristotle said, managing your emotions is not about avoiding anger, but knowing how and when to direct it appropriately. By keeping a healthy emotional distance, you protect your peace and dignity. Finally, when faced with rejection, sometimes the most empowering response is to keep your struggles to yourself. There's strength in continuing to live confidently, despite setbacks or adversity. This doesn't mean suppressing your emotions. It's about processing them privately, so you don't give others the satisfaction of seeing you diminished by rejection. By doing so, you maintain your inner fortitude and resilience, as Marcus Aurelius advises. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Your ability to remain strong, even in the face of rejection, shows your inner stability and demonstrates that you are not defined by your setbacks. Remember, life's challenges are not obstacles, they are opportunities for growth. The real strength lies in how we navigate them. As we move forward, let these principles guide you, and let your resilience be your true power. Stay strong, stay focused, and keep growing in the face of adversity.